Today, I am heading out to the fresh air. It is beautiful weather. It is finally spring, and I'm going to talk about something I have been thinking about lately. I've started exploring how our Nordic ancestors thought about home and how I can relate to their ancient Nordic wisdom to help myself find calm and balance. I'm a single mom living with my 5-year-old son in a 35 square meter apartment. And I know this space is not ideal home for us to find stress relief and balance. Apartment life does not feel natural. Living so close to people you haven't chosen and hearing their noise, hearing their lives, and being affected by their lack of consideration. It disturbs the peace more than we realize. You know, I think many people are living in chronic background stress without noticing. Because how they live and where they live. Cigarette smokes from the neighbors near the entrance, the building entrance and the balconies. And teenagers driving in their cars with their music and bass very loud, so the ground is shaking. Neighbors stomping around like elephants, slamming the doors. I can't stand it anymore. This is stress relief being in the forest. There is someone else here in the forest. I can hear something walking in the tree. Is it a human? Or is it an elk? I don't know. Be alone here, it would be great. But I don't think I am alone here. I think there's something here. Someone else. Let's see here. Oh, let's see if I can see here. Oh my gosh. I needed to move from a place and just change to another place. I think this place is more peaceful, near the water. I really long for a home closer to nature. A small house where I can live a more slower life. My son is growing and he also needs to feel that home is more than a building for him. I think I want to reconnect with the Nordic belief of a home. I think it makes sense. Because I think there's so much in our apartment environment that stresses us. Something that we can't see all the time. And there are many people who have lived their lives in this space before us. We don't know how they have felt, how they have lived their lives. We might feel their energy. And I think my son is very receptive to that. So how I will truly find calm and balance is to look for a home that can really invite us in and make this home a part of our soul, and ask the space and the place if we could just build our lives here. I've started reading about how our Nordic ancestors thought about home, and I think it's really interesting. It struck me that we have lost something here. In old Norse belief, the home meant so much more than physical structure. It was seen as a living relationship, a sacred place, a protective zone, and this way of seeing the home may be over 1,000 years old, perhaps even older than the Viking Age. I don't know. In medieval Sweden, the importance of home peace was formalized in the Etsöreslagarna around 1250. These laws established hemfrid, kvinnofrid, kyrkofrid, and tingsfrid as a sacred protection in society. No one was allowed to bring conflict, violence, or disorder across the threshold, and people show respect for the soul of the house. The front door and the threshold were seen as a boundary between worlds. What we call the living room today might have been the heart of the home back then, the social space where family and the king gathered to share stories and memories and wisdom passed down orally. And they believe that beings guarded the home, like gårdstomte, the farm gnome, were watching over the land, and the housefolk was tied to the house. And the Deezer, I don't know how to pronounce this, they were connected to the bloodline and ancestral power. But I believe that in a deep Nordic understanding of these nature spirits, I don't think they were like small figures running around. I think they were fields of energy you could feel, and the power of the place. I think the ones who disturb the peace of the home receives back the negative energy they send out. Like peace responds with peace, and disorder responds with disorder. That's why I think our ancestors who said that those who disturb the peace bring misfortune upon themselves. I believe we have lost the deepest and the spiritual meaning of home here in North, and that we could feel a kind of rootlessness because of it. Maybe. Perhaps that's why we are not feeling so well in our modern housing, where the home never becomes a central place in our lives, really, but just a temporary space we move in and out of, and treated it like an object, like a comedy or an investment. And the home is no longer a sacred center of the king. It's more like a place where strangers have lived, and we risk being affected by the lingering memories and the energy imprints of those who came or lived there before us. That might be why we long so deeply for something of our own. When I am in my apartment, disturbed by neighbors, inconsiderate lives, or how I will pronounce it, it feels like a modern form of an energetic violation of hemfrid. We're not built to live this close to strangers. Not long term anyway. But I believe hemfrid still lives in our culture today. We knock before entering someone's home. Very important. We take off our shoes. We see the home as the most private space of our lives. And I also think that many of us wants to clean the house before guests arrives. For me, it's important anyway. We light candles in the living room. It's still the heart of the home. Because I think there's so much in our apartment environment that stresses us. Something that we can't see all the time. And there are many people who have lived their lives in this space before us. We don't know how they have felt, how they have lived their lives. We might feel their energy. And I think my son is very receptive to that. It was nice chatting with you for a while. Take care of you.